WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Even though yesterday was set aside to celebrate love, Mississippi lawmakers are debating a bill aimed at those who take inappropriate actions after the love is gone. As Courtney Ann Jackson explains, they're looking at a special category of cyber crimes, and she talks to one of its victims.
The damage had already been done by the time Jennifer Patrick found herself in a cyber fight after breaking things off with her ex.
Why would I want God and everybody to see those pictures now knowing that it was a mistake? I never thought they'd go between me and him and the fence post.
The ex posted photos of her on his Facebook page, then on a dating site, creating 3 different accounts with those pictures included.
He was giving out my phone number with those pictures, and my phone was text messages blowing up with all these different guys from different states texting me, and I'm like, what's going on?
She tried to file charges, but there were questions in court about how to prove it was the ex and not her posting those photos. She's since reached out to Senator Sally Doty, who has a bill that's passed the Senate already. It addresses 3 different issues, including revenge porn. Victims could try to collect damages in a civil suit.
One of the most valuable tools, though, is a specific provision regarding a temporary restraining order. So you can go to the court, get a temporary restraining order, and every violation of that temporary restraining order is $1,000.
The next part of the bill addresses sextortion, when someone makes threats about releasing those types of intimate visual materials.
And then says, I'm going to put this out here unless you pay me X number of dollars, or unless you have this sort of relationship with me or do this sort of act for me.
That would carry up to 1 year in jail and up to $4,000 in fines. And finally, the bill states that cases involving sexting between minors should remain in youth courts. Jennifer Patrick says she'll keep supporting Senator Doty's efforts.
Destroying me like I'm sure it was intended to do. It just pushed me to strive to make something happen with it.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Protecting children, it's one of the most important jobs for parents, but now children are turning to social media and engaging with others at earlier ages. Keeping them safe is becoming a lot harder. Our Riley Livingston looks at an alarming trend.
It's the fear of many parents, their underage child getting involved with an older individual. And according to local law enforcement, the number of cases, it's on the rise.
With the advancement of technology, there's a lot more apps out there now, a lot more sites where chat's available, picture swapping, things such as that. And as a result, yeah, we're seeing a lot more of it because there's more available out there.
But what is leading kids down this dangerous path?
If that person is getting extra attention from an older male, somebody who's complimenting them, building them up, putting them on a pedestal, if they're hungry for that, if they're longing for that, if that's building them up, that's going to make it that much more tempting.
A lot of times we're finding that perhaps the home that the child is in sometimes may not be the best situation, or the child may not feel it's the best situation. Some of the older individuals will take advantage of that and become their best friend and will develop a relationship with them. And they'll do things to try and gain the trust of the child in hopes maybe of later on down the road meeting, perhaps other things taking place between them.
Sometimes the adult doesn't realize how young the child is, but there are still consequences.
They will go in, they'll make their profile whatever age they want to be. Sometimes they do it because the sites require that you be of a certain age, and in order for them to get onto those sites, they create a date of birth. However, the state of Mississippi, even if the child has lied about their age, the adult can still be held responsible for anything that takes place between themselves and the child.
Now, Julia Stevenson, she also says that parents should start building a stable relationship at a young age, set ground rules, and be available to talk to help put a stop to inappropriate relationships before they happen. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our weekend forecast. Hey, Keith.
Scott, right now we have some showers building across the area, overcast conditions in all locations across northeast Mississippi and West Alabama. There's the shower activity from Aberdeen back to Houston and Bruce, Calhoun City, the heaviest downpours right now. Now that is wet down to the south, but we still have the chance for some additional rain. Down to 49 in Tupelo right now, still 63 in Columbus. The front is there. It is going to be moving south as we go throughout the rest of the night. When you wake up in the morning, much cooler, 30s north, low 40s southeast. I'll be back with your weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
An economic development expert says Northeast Mississippi is poised to benefit from a strong national economy. Phil Hardwick, the director of business analyst at Millsaps College, was guest speaker at Lee County's State of the County Luncheon. The event highlights the past year's economic high points and looks for future trends. Hardwick says a commitment to workforce development is a big factor when it comes to residents opting to stay in the county.
Lee County is doing fantastic. As a matter of fact, I always hold up Lee County as the model for economic development in Mississippi. That's really my message, is that collaboration and partnerships is the key.
In 2018, Lee County ranked 10th among the nation's top micropolitans and had the second lowest millage tax rate in the state. Tear it down or clean it up? That's the question in Monroe County. Aberdeen and Monroe County leaders met today to decide the fate of the Old Holly Performance Building. But as our Stephanie Poole found out, the relationship between those two groups is also in a state of deterioration.
To date, it is not the city board's fault. It is totally the county's fault.
Aberdeen Mayor Maurice Howard's reaction was fast and furious after Monroe County Board of Supervisors President Billy Kirkpatrick walked out of a joint meeting. The city and county both own the Old Holly Performance Building. They just can't agree on how to go about it.
We learned this morning that this site is subject to a potential brownfields study to assess any environmental contamination that might be an impact on the property.
It was the first time Kirkpatrick learned about the possible brownfield study.
I'm going to put this burden in their hands because they came today unprepared to do business the way that it's supposed to be done.
That's the dilemma right now as to whether to try to go through this grant process or to whether to sell the building as is, where is.
Howard says the city and county just can't find a way to agree. This leaves Howard Harper in a tough spot. He's been trying to buy the Asbestos-filled building for about a year.
The county, for some obscene reason, do not want to go follow through with the sale. They'll rather look for a grant to possibly tear down the building than to allow somebody to come in and bring jobs to our community, which hadn't happened in the past 30 years.
It could take about a year to process the grant. If it fails inspection, someone will have to pay to have the building torn down. That can carry a $5 or $6 million price tag.
That was our Stephanie Poole reporting. Now the meeting adjourned with no action taken after the disagreement between Howard and Kirkpatrick.
Temperatures on a roller coaster ride for the next couple of days. Rain chances go up as well. We may see several inches of rain next week. Your full weekend forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Lots of cloud cover across our region today. That's our time lapse from Louisville. We now have some showers out there, and that front that's moving down through with the showers will clear the rain chances out of here later tonight, but still some heavier downpours. Aberdeen moving through Chickasaw County, stretching back out towards Eupora. We've had some light rain in Tupelo, not too much in Columbus yet, but still a chance for some rain later on tonight. It's been a little bit of a light glaze here of some freezing rain in northwest Tennessee, and that's where there's a winter weather advisory through 3 a.m. We do not have to worry about winter weather, but lows tonight will be ranging from the mid-30s in the northwest, low and mid-40s in the southeast as that front continues moving on down to the southeast. We'll cool things down a little bit. 9 o'clock in the morning, look at this. A lot of cloud cover for the start of our Saturday. Some of you will be in the 30s, other spots into the 40s by noon, pushing 50. Most of us should get back into the 50s during the course of our Saturday. If you live south of Columbus, maybe a shot at some upper 50s. If you live north, maybe only upper 40s to around 50. But really, no chance of rain tomorrow. Winds from the north and northeast 5 to 15. A decent day for us. We'll take it, considering the wet weather we do have coming in next week. You can see the low to mid 70s in southeastern Alabama tomorrow, maybe along the coast too, a little bit warmer, but for us, 50s, 49 of that's it in Memphis, Tennessee. The frontal boundary that's moving through now stalls out to our south on Saturday. It lifts back. Look at this. It lifts back as a warm front on Sunday, so we get back into the 60s, but then those rain chances return right here. numerous showers likely as this big dip in the jet stream develops, and this unsettled pattern is going to continue into next week. And it looks like we do have the potential for several disturbances, several inches of rain. Flooding could be an issue as we get into next week too. So the opportunity for rain close to zero tomorrow, a little bit higher Sunday, low on Monday, and then it just explodes, it looks like, as we get into Monday night and a good chunk of the middle of next week. You can see these disturbances rolling on in here. So savor the dry day tomorrow because it's looking wetter and wetter as we go through time. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Speaking of the temperature roller coaster, 50s tomorrow, 60s Sunday, 50s Monday, and 50s to low 60s perhaps next week as those rain chances build back into the area.
Your next carryout order could be a little greener. We take a look at what some businesses are doing to help Mother Earth. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. In January of this year, California became the first state to ban plastic straws in diners and restaurants unless specifically asked for by a customer. Now, major cities like Seattle have followed suit. Locally, some businesses and institutions are taking a similar stance to cut back on waste. Our Cash Matlock joins us live in the studio with more. Cash.
Well, that's right. Now, Rick's Cafe in Starkville has recently announced plans to stop using all plastic and styrofoam by the end of this year. Mississippi State University is also making strides to educate students on the importance of recycling. Now, we do want to warn you that the video you're about to watch may be a little disturbing for some of our viewers.
You may be familiar with this video that went viral a few months ago. It shows a distraught sea turtle struggling with a plastic straw lodged in its nose. Images like this are prompting many businesses and restaurants across the nation to limit their use of plastic.
You know, we're keeping straws out of the ocean, we're keeping styrofoam off the side of the road. Nobody likes to see that, and you know, it's not going to be coming from here anymore.
Ryan Handren is the general manager of Rick's Cafe in Starkville. He says the business decided over Christmas break to try and make a difference with new eco-friendly products such as cups, straws, and to-go containers.
We're getting rid of all of the styrofoam, we're replacing it with stuff made from sugarcane. All of our straws are made from actual straw now, like hay straws.
And customers don't seem to mind the product change.
Using the paper products in the way that they're using that now, you feel like you're actually being a part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Just up the road at Mississippi State University, steps are also being taken to better the environment. On average, the university recycles over 60,000 pounds of trash per month.
Mississippi State is one of the leading schools in the state of being conservative and being conscious about going green and having a good understanding of that. So I think other schools should take notice of that and lead by our example.
And even though the changes are good for the earth, they don't come cheap. In fact, some restaurants are paying up to 3 times more for sustainable products.
25 years ago, young Rick probably wanted to make $1 million. Today, Rick is probably just going to settle for making a difference.
On the whole, those concerned with the impact of plastic products hope to see the trend catch on.
I hope that other people follow suit, because I was a bartender myself and I know how much waste goes into the plastic and all of that, and so I hope that they follow suit.
We just hope that not just people in Starkville, but all across Mississippi and across the country join in on this.
Well, the MSU Office of Sustainability says that when it comes to recycling, containers with food or liquid in them can actually ruin an entire batch of recyclables. They say it's important to empty those containers before placing them in a recycle bin.
Sports with Courtney Robb.
It's a new season, there's a new head coach, and a new baseball field for Mississippi State's opening weekend. The legendary head coach Ron Polk throwing out that first pitch of 2019 earlier today. The Bulldogs opened the new Dudy Noble Field against Youngstown State. Ethan Small on fire opens the new year, striking out the side in the first inning. Small would finish with a career high of 11 strikeouts, but would take damage in the top of the fourth. Trevor Wiersma tattoos a pitch to deep right center field. The first runs in the new Dude go to the visitors, a 2-run homer to start things off early in the game. The Penguins up 3-0 until the State explosion. Jordan Westberg drills a liner down the third baseline. Jake Mangum would come in to score, and Westberg turns it into a double. Some rally dance time. Very next batter, Tanner Allen. The adios to the baseball. 369 footers into the left field lounge. The Bulldogs tie the ball game up here. And MSU takes the lead in the eighth, but who else but Elijah McNamee to bring it on home. Mac launches one to left center. The 3-run home run would begin an 11-run bottom of the eighth, and the Bulldogs open the season with a W in this one, 14-3 over Youngstown State.
It's been a lot. I mean, just getting the stadium going, opening day, my first game, their kids' first game. A lot of mental things. The kids did a great job of fighting through that. And it's been great. Our administration and staff do such a great job to make it easy for you. But it's time. I told somebody today I'm just ready to coach. I want to get out there and play the game and coach.
There was never a moment where I doubted them. I mean, they're just slapping the ball over the field right at people. And, that's baseball, as everybody says. But seeing them come back and score, how many runs was it? 14. Yeah, that's a lot of runs. And it's just like, well, I knew it was coming.
It was also opening day in Oxford, and the Rebs take on Wright State. The team pumped up and ready. Bottom of the first 2 outs, Tyler Keenan goes deep to put Ole Miss up by 1 run, and things would only be on the up from there. We'll head to the bottom of the second after this play. 2 outs yet again, which today was when Ole Miss was most dangerous. As Cooper Johnson takes this bad boy for a ride. He'll get it out and puts the Rebels up 2-0. And now we head to the bottom of the fourth after he comes on home there. Obviously excited for that, and rightfully so. To the bottom of the fourth, back up to the plate is Cooper Johnson. There's 2 outs, but he doesn't care as he knocks a base hit into the outfield, and that brings home Cole Zabowski. The Rebels now up 3-0, and they would go on to get a big win. The Rebels put up 10 runs with a final score. Ole Miss 10, Wright State 1.
I thought he was really impressive and, really electric stuff. But with the combination with so much adrenaline running through your body opening day, just to fill up the strike zone. Just a team that will walk and steal bases. And early on, you need to throw the ball into the strike zone, and he did.
Very nice having, probably one of the best defenses in the country. Knowing that any ball is going to hit at them. They're going to field it and find a way to get an out or two. It's nice.
The biggest thing is having a plan this year. Going up to the plate, knowing what I want to do, knowing what the situation is, what's the best at bat I can put together for, the situation that we have at hand.
Let's get to the hardwood. The 2-6A Division Tourney Finals. Tupelo hosting Columbus. The Lady Falcons, Hannah White driving to the rim. She gets the shot to go, and the Falcons take an early lead. Brianna Smith working to extend it, gets the rebound, and also the put back there to give Columbus a 4-point lead. But the Lady Wave would fight back. Jalissa Florence off the fast break. She's going to drive straight to the rim before it falls through the nylon. The Golden Wave, too much for the Falcons. Tupelo gets the win over Columbus, 53-49. And now Oxford and the Tupelo boys. The Chargers get on the board first with the huge alley-oop from Kylan Blackman to make it 2-zip for Oxford. And then the Golden Wave get a nice pass to Josh Mitchell, and the game would get tied up at 2. But Tupelo would come back to get the win in this one with a final of 54-52. That's it for sports. Your last look is coming up next. Stick with us.
Some showers out there tonight, Scott. Tomorrow, though, I think we're dry. Temperatures will be cooler into the 50s. Rain more likely on Sunday versus tomorrow, so be prepared. The second half of the weekend could feature more wet weather. Keep the umbrella on standby. That's a good thing to have with you, especially as we get into next week. It could be a soaker.
Yeah, keep it in the car, keep it wherever.
Have multiple umbrellas or galoshes.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.